Okay, I'm making a video here about protecting your own personal space, your own personal land, or your own personal space in your own personal home. And I'm going to talk about justice and a few things here, okay? Now, bear in mind, you can regard anything I'm saying as stupid or idiotic or whatever you want to think it is, but I'm putting forth questions and points. Now, I've been watching this thing on the news recently about the immigrants. There's this please excuse me, I've got to get this right, I know, but it doesn't really matter because I'm just talking about just this topic in general. But I believe it's like America, the US-Mexico border. Okay, the US-Mexico border. It says here the southern border. What's this? And there's a video talking about troops being granted expanded power to use lethal force on migrants at southern border. So basically, they're talking about the possibility, or maybe the reality, of troops being granted expanded power to use lethal force on migrants, basically. From what I heard, okay, I don't know exactly the estimates. I think they said just now that there's like 2,000 something like that migrants currently camped out at the border, and they're also saying that it's going to be there's like lots more coming, so it's going to be like 10,000 and something. 10,000 immigrants that are going to be lined up and waiting on the other side of the border trying to get into the country, right? Now my question is, if you've got someone, a complete stranger, knocking on your front door, let's say you or anybody, if you were at home and some complete stranger from elsewhere, some strange person, was banging on your door saying, "Let me in, I want to come in for a better life," and and he wants to come into your house, a complete stranger. Now, if you're a kind person, you may let one person, but if you're going to have people constantly trying to do that, and you've got a load of people, are you going to stand there and tolerate it? In today's modern day, brain dead fucking political correctness society in general, we've got issues where, in general, where we have you avoiding people's personal space and all these ideas, like you can't say a certain word, or you can't look at someone a certain way, you can't even speak freely, some movie star or whoever has just got to put their hand on someone's shoulder or something, and they say it's indecent assault or fucking inappropriateness, and they end up getting locked up, and then you get people coming up with rape stories and stuff, and nothing's okay anymore. Nowhere's safe. You can't even connect as human beings, even any form of language that seems to work, without there being some kind of complexities. But it's not getting any easier, and people are not getting any smarter, it seems. So yet you have thousands, we're talking about 10,000 people here, trying to basically barge their way into the country, force. I don't know the whole story, but it seems like they're coming from Mexico and they want to get into the US border, cross the US border to go into America. I'm not American, fair enough, I'm from the UK, but look, England and I mean, lots of places in the world anyway have had their fair share of, migrants, coming into the country and things like that. But yeah, we're not talking about the morality. We're not talking about the morality. And myself personally, I'm not talking about where they come from or where they're trying to go to in this world. I'm not even speaking specifically about these particular migrants. I'm just saying the whole topic in general. I'm just talking about this idea, whether it's an individual or whether it's thousands like this situation here. I'm not even talking about who are criminals or legit or who are, decent people. I'm not talking about any of that, okay? Not to avoid topics or just trying to be ignorant. I'm just saying I'm not talking about that. But what I am talking about is people trying to force their way into a place, barge their way in, force their way in. There may be people that are desperate. Some people are fleeing wars, fleeing violence, and some people are poverty. Some people are really fleeing hardships, so they need a better life. And it's like, all out. They're going all out. They're going for what they need. And that's been going on for years. People are running around this planet. Probably be doing it in space one day. But I'm just saying now, okay, listen. Yeah, the main point is this. There's people barging their way into your home. Now, if you have a home or a house, I don't care if it's a big house or it's a little apartment, whatever. If you've got 10 people, 50 people, sometimes 100 people knocking on your door and everybody wants to come into your house to live there and just force their way in, what are you going to do? Now, I hear in America, I don't know a lot about the American laws. I don't understand about these gun laws and stuff. And I hear arguments exchanged both sides, who's right or wrong, like, UK or other countries for like not allowing guns. And America, a lot of people want to keep their gun rights and all this for protection, right? There's situations where in America people are allowed to use guns, right, to protect themselves. That's what I've been under the impression. That's as far as I know it is. And you're allowed to protect your home as such too, right? So I don't know exactly what guns and exactly what laws. I don't understand it, right? So fair enough. You shouldn't ramble about things, anything really you don't understand. But what I'm saying is this: someone comes up to you invading your personal space. What's going to happen? People get fired from jobs in some of these countries in the West. People get fired from jobs for using inappropriate language, terms, things that could be offensive to people. Now, to me, the word offensive means that, if you are offended yourself, that means you yourself, it's a feeling you feel. Someone said something to you and you feel offended. This means you feel bad about something. It's your own personal feeling. Back in the day when we was in school, when I was young, we used to say, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Names will never hurt me. It's just words. But you say words can go far, and the idea of what those words can carry. And it can trigger people to do anything, basically. Pull it out of the air or take it from real past experiences, whatever. But you're going to say that a lot of people say that it can turn people and get people to form groups and actually cause trouble and more violence in the real world. So that's a threat. But the idea of what is freedom? You see, freedom of speech, freedom of thought. What is it? But we know that it should be, and everybody should be able to be free and respect it. But it's just it's just a battle of good and evil. But, there's clarity and confusion. Clarity should always beat the confusion, end of the day. I don't know, but going back to what I'm saying though, yeah, so the offensive stuff. So in this modern day, we've got people being locked up. You've got all kinds of people being locked up or getting fired from their jobs for being offensive, using whatever kind of terminology. It could be racist, sexist, ideology, certain views of discrimination, or some kind of words that someone didn't like, or inappropriateness, or someone touches someone, or in some way, or gives someone a hug, and then immediately they're in trouble for like sexual misconduct or some kind of stuff. It's like people are so politically correct, so complex. It's like not like it back in the past, where people were just more easy going. I'm not saying like everything's right. I'm just saying certain things. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. So you're living in a modern world where people are so protective of their personal rights and their personal space. And I know damn right, and there's a lot of violence too, a lot of fights. There's a lot of violence and fights going on. People, when someone gets in someone's face and gets close up to them, they want to fight, and people are just throwing punches. In the UK, there's a lot of knife crime. In America, there's a lot of shootings and gun crime, you see. And in terms of violence in general, yeah, that's the basic like natural wild animal instinct as such, like to protect yourself and fight if you have to anyway. And people in general, all people, like if you've got a home and you have a gun, let's say, and you've got 100 people outside your house trying to come in, people are going to start firing off them fucking rounds. Blah, blah, pulling out their shotgun and blowing shit the fuck out off the goddamn lawn, yo. But I'm just saying, really, there are times where guns, by law, right, guns are legal, and there's some kind of certain guns are allowed to be used in self-defense. That's as far as I know, at least. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to say. That's that. But now you've got the arguing sides, these protests, and people arguing about this migrant or these immigrants that are coming from Mexico to America, to the US, trying to cross the border. They're talking 10,000 people. 10,000 people? Do you know how much that is? That's a lot of people. It's basically... And so what they're saying is now you've got loads of troops, there's loads of American troops lining up with all these big vehicles, these American, army vehicles, and they're camped out, and the army are there to protect the border. And there's talking about maybe, expanding powers here to allow them to use, lethal force. Now, some people are going to be angry about it. Can you imagine if one migrant is climbing over, forcing his way over, maybe causing trouble, and I don't know the exact laws, but let's just say, for example, regardless of that person's background, whether he's a decent person or he's a criminal or whatever, if a soldier fires a shot, he might not even mean to kill him. People's human bodies are actually different. It might not even be meant to be a lethal shot, but the shot could still kill a person, right? The shock of it, something could react. To actually shoot a person down off of the wall or whatever, or if they get across or whatever, shoot, or purposely do a lethal shot, whatever, firing a gun, even pointing a gun at these immigrants. Now, obviously, you're going to say there's different reasons and why and all this and exactly. Yeah, but the basic thing is, if you had that's 10,000 people, don't forget. It's kind of like the movie World War Z, with all the zombies when they're climbing up the walls. If you got that many people climbing and pulling each other over the wall, and before you know it, you're overpowered. You've got thousands, we're talking, not hundreds, but thousands even of people climbing over the wall, literally, that's what it says here. They're saying 10,000, and you've got people coming over the wall. Are you telling me now that, those soldiers can't use lethal force? It's like, okay, they may as well let everybody in then, just open up the borders, yeah? If the country doesn't protect its country, then if you don't protect your home, that means you give your home up to everybody else. So I'm not saying it's right to shoot people, but I'm not saying it's right to force your way onto someone's land too, right? I mean, there's always been stories in the past where in the past where if someone tries to walk on someone's farmland, the people have the right to shoot the person, right? And there's a lot of situations in the world, so nothing seems to be like clear, right? So what I'm trying to say is, if you just open up your borders, then you're gonna have. So how do you protect it if a wall's not working, if warnings are not working, and if they're determined on just running you down, climbing over, and they'll fight because they're doing this intentionally. They're meaning we're coming in whether you fucking like it or not. Then the army are there. Now what are the army for? And the army to have guns. So if there's no bloodshed, or if nobody's shot, or that, if there's no, I don't know, even hand-to-hand combat, maybe restraining them. Oh, they was a bit too harsh there back in the year 2018. You can imagine stories on the news like years and years into the future. These soldiers were, stripped of their badges because they used, excessive force and all this bullshit. The same as you hear with the police and all of this. I know sometimes the police and people can step out of line, but I'm saying, fighting's fighting. And it shouldn't be a fight. You just got people trying to make a life for themselves. Yes, and we don't want to harm anybody. Nobody wants to harm anybody. But it's like you've got to protect your home. And if people are trying to force their way in, it's like it happens every day. You get thugs trying to go into fucking liquor stores or whatever, and the store owners have to pull a gun out to protect themselves or something because people are trying to rob the store, all kind of stuff. Why do you think we have security guards? Why do you think anyone like that is trained to restrain and deal with certain criminals? So these guys are criminals. The moment they try and force and break in with entry, forceful entry. So are you telling me that all these things you want to moan about, all these smaller crimes and smaller things you want to make such a big deal of, and political correctness and all this, and laws on this and laws on that, but when it comes to 10,000 people, 10,000 trying to force their way, literally, into your goddamn backyard, basically into, across the border, I'm asking you, what do you think should be done? Should the people just, all of the soldiers just allow them in? Or the soldiers just go home? Or do you think the soldiers should not bring guns, just bring some little feathers and just tickle them when they come over? Go back. It's not going to work. But I'm not saying that I think they should start firing their guns and shooting people off of the wall, spraying them all down. But I'm saying, it might, maybe it's their own country's problem. Maybe they need to but how do you pull those people back? But when it comes to defend, what do you think the best way is to defend it? Don't come up with all this confusion, complex fucking bullshit, excuse my language, about there need to be more complex laws and there need to be more this and that, No. Laws, yeah, there should be laws. But, if people are determined to cross your border and do certain things, what kind of what do you think is excessive force of soldiers or police in various situations? And what do you think they should do? I'll put you in that situation. You stand there now and you can see 10,000 people coming over the wall. Yeah? What are you going to do? Try and push him back, lift him back up and put him over the wall like some baby? So, some of these people could be armed as well, and and you can imagine the determination. And here's the funny thing, well, it's not funny, but some of these people are coming from starving backgrounds. They're really coming from starved. They're coming from maybe really poverty. I don't know exactly, but people that are desperate to go from different countries to other countries. Some of them are coming from war-torn places, crime-ridden, dangerous places of poverty. But also there's a lot of people that are coming from having a life, something that I would like to have and I've always strived to have. People that just want to have some people that already have a small apartment, a little flat, a little apartment, little house. It may not be the biggest house, but they have a house. Some people actually have clothes on, they have food, they have a bed. It may be a small place, it may not be the best life. They may not have a car, maybe they have a bike, maybe some do have a car. They have a family, a child, and that child every day has some form of breakfast and food, when they wake up each day. They have, the basics. They even have like electricity and maybe even an internet and a computer. It's not luxury, but it is compared to how some people in the world have nothing. And these people some people, I'm saying, have that kind of a life. You can just see they're wearing, by the clothes they're wearing, they're coming from a place where they did have some form of a life. And they're fighting, determined to go to another country for a better life. Better life. I deserve it because other people deserve it, so I deserve it. To me, I will never understand that. I only fear not having the basics. I don't want a fucking better life. I was driven out of my own country, the UK, England, myself, I'm saying personally, through fear of literally being homeless and not being able to support myself at all. By myself, there's, I'm not going to go into detail, but it's scary shit. Literally. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail exactly because I'm not going to do it right in this video. It's just not worth it. But if you knew, yes, as a white person, yes, white and privileged or whatever you want to say, not when you don't have a fucking roof over your head. And not when you know damn well you're not a lazy person, you're determined and diligent and you'll do whatever work it takes, more or less, to support yourself. And you're hardworking. I'm hardworking, I'll focus, but when the country's not giving you money and giving you your own rights and you face literally not having a roof over your head, we're not talking about luxury. So what I'm saying is, for me, just to have I had to leave the country. I've been living in China for years, but I'm just saying, so people are running all around the world, from all races in general. Okay, you get like mass immigrations from some countries, and then you get individuals that have been forced through different circumstances and had to go to different places to make a living. But when I say make a living, I mean wake up and have some form of food and some oxygen in your goddamn lungs. I've never turned to crime. I've never turned to taking drugs or whatever the fuck to make money. I'm just a hard-working, honest, diligent person, normal in my right mind, and respectful to the world and nature. And there's people in this world that just go to crime and drugs and all kinds of stuff. Some people go to prostitution and all that. But I'm just saying, okay, and violence. There is some criminal. There's some like youth gangs you get across different countries who go to crime, and they're moaning about and complaining that their lives are hard in the ghettos and all this, so they rob and steal or whatever. But at the same time, some of these people, they've always had like a flat or an apartment somewhere to live in. Something, it might not be the best, but to choose to be violent and to choose to give in to society and any form of bullying is wrong in the first place, and you just become the scum of society. To actually be worried that other people have more than you, or you feel that you should have the same as everybody else. I don't give a fuck. I hope everybody has more than me. I'm not stupid, I'm not foolish. I hope every motherfucker, like even where any place I'm working in my job, I hope everybody gets a pay raise and I don't. I'd like to get a pay raise, but I don't really give a fuck if I've got a roof over my head. It's only by having nothing do you fucking value what you've got. And luckily, I've never been in this situation. I've just been very lucky. I feel like I've been taken literally like by an angel almost and put on the stepping stones across the river. I didn't even have to step on it. But I'm just saying, okay, and that is nothing to do with privilege, okay, white privilege. That's I don't want to call myself a ponce, but that's almost like living off the backs of people and working with or for, or I don't want to say putting myself down, making myself weak, but literally I mean working for and benefiting myself only through benefiting others is what I've actually done. I'll put that in a nice term there, simply. And working for Chinese people in China, and a lot of people have benefited more than I have from what I've actually done for my own survival. And all I've ever wanted is just a roof over my head. Okay, all I want, just literally, I mean, a roof over my head, food to eat every day, some clothes to wear, and a computer and internet is good to have in this day and age. Just a computer. I like to do some art on my computer too. But if I didn't have a computer, I could still draw on paper. I like to do drawing. I have passions and hobbies of my own. Simple thing. I have a simple life. I don't have addictions to drugs, and I don't go out having a drink every night. I don't need to wear designer, expensive clothes to make me look like the in man. I'm in, with the crowd and all that bullshit. I'm not a slave to fucking society. I don't give a fuck. People are always going to put you down, no matter what. If you do a good job, a bad job, there's always people, and things are always changing too. So I just respect myself. I'm a peaceful person, and I follow nature and reality. So with me though, that's what I'm saying. If you want more, you need to work for it. And there are laws in place, so follow the laws of a country. And when you step inside someone's house, if you ever can, you've got to respect that other person's space too. And if they don't allow you, it's like if you knock on somebody's door, even the police know. No, I'm just saying, if you as an individual, anybody, if you knock on someone's door and they don't allow you to come over, you're not going to kick the door down, are you? And expect a fight if you do try and do that, because some people will protect their home. Now, what do you think should happen is what I'm saying. Oh, let me just finish what I'm saying. Let me just finish what I was saying about the crime, like in the ghettos. In some parts of some countries, like in the West, we have things like that. In the West, with like crime gangs and stuff in the ghettos, and they're complaining they've got a hard life. They've got nothing. Yeah. They don't have designer chains around their neck, gold chains, and expensive trainers, sneakers, shoes. It's just ridiculous. Right? Oh, my mum was on drugs, my dad's in prison and all this. Yeah. What's up, blood? I'm going to knife you up. I've got a mask on my face. All this talk is like, what the heck? Even if the fucking government really treats you like a piece of shit, and the whole life has. I've been through a lot of shit. I'm facing fucking death every day in terms of survival. I mean, I feel like I literally have to struggle to survive. And I look on my computer here now, and I see in the internet, I see in the world people moaning about the government. These people are not even starving, like they got nothing. I'm not saying have what you're given and be pushed around. And I'm not saying that, but I'm saying be positive in yourself, and you can always work harder to try and make a better way. And there's always ways, but you've got to find peace in yourself before you find something. Because people always want more. They always want better. It might be okay to want better. Is it always right to always want better though? I mean, what is better? You don't even know sometimes. If you're always looking for better, it means you're always in the shit. I've got peace inside me, but people will think I'm stupid. Hey man, yeah, but I'm just saying, I see this stuff on here on the news. This is one story about Mexico and the US border. You get other countries too, with loads of people marching to different countries and stuff for a better life. And it's like, I don't know what they're coming from, and I can't speak for every individual. Some of them are coming from poverty, fleeing violence and stuff, but some of them have got a home and a house, and they can't imagine what myself or some people have to go through. And if you look on as well, other places in the world, there really is poverty, with people starving. You can see their bones sticking out in some places. So, and this whole thing about white privilege, I'm not going to stand here, I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't exist, or racism doesn't exist, and white people are this or that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm going to say is, sometimes races can treat their own races badly too in their own countries. Now, I myself feel like a reject. I've been rejected by most of humanity. All I see is negativity in the world. Most of the human beings that I've met since I was born have been negative people. I don't have a negative attitude. I'm positive towards all people. where they're confused and they've got stress, pressure, and they feel it's a competitive society, and that's all there is to it. Generation after generation of stress and anger. I've been pressured and bullied. I was bullied in school, I was bullied in my jobs, I was mistreated by most. So it doesn't matter if it's white people or non-white people. I'm telling you now that myself, I've had to flee the bloody country, I've had to go elsewhere just to make a living, and the real, I don't know what you're going to call it, the economy or the money or the situation, I don't know, but just to survive. You cannot, I mean, really survive. It's like, you know, it's like live or die daily for me. So it's not like a gun to my head, but it's that kind of a thing, you know. And when I see people moaning, or when I see people marching to different countries for, I'm thinking, are all of those people really on the brink of, you know, life and death? Some maybe, but if you're just following the crowd for a better life, some of these people that have marched to Europe too, who want to go to England, and there's been some people that, a lot of people, thousands of people that wanted to go to England, but they were offered a place to stay, they were offered food, water and a home and shelter in places like, I don't know where, I can't remember now, Germany or Switzerland, other places in the UK, you know, France obviously, but they refuse it because they want to go to the UK. Refuse it. They just want better, they want the best, they want better than the best even. I don't want better than the best, I just want a bed, a roof over my fucking head. There's me, a white guy. You've got no idea when you've literally faced having nothing and you're literally struggling for survival. The only time you're dead is when you're dead. So you've got to keep on moving. Like Rocky said, Rocky Balboa again, you know, and that it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit. You get hit and keep moving forward. I've just kept moving forward, going from one place to the next, to make a survival, make a life for myself over the last 13 years especially. My whole life, but I'm saying the last 13 years in China living. And I'm just saying, you know, when there's a will, there's a way, but it depends who you connect with. But for people to be moaning about their life as though it's so hard, or you just want better because you deserve it, it's like, I don't know, but I just see fighting in countries and amongst countries, I don't know, but anyway, the main basic thing is, like, God knows what you want if you never find peace in yourself. But listen, I'll say this last point, okay? What do you think should happen if you've got 10,000 people trying to climb over a wall into your country? How are you going to stop them? And what do you think about this breaking news story here about army soldiers maybe being granted expanded power to use lethal force, probably with guns and stuff, you know, I'm guessing, against forceful entry or violence or whatever it is, coming in, trying to bust their way in. 10,000 people. Some countries are really small, so do you know how many people that's a lot of people. America's big, fair enough. 10,000 people, that's today. Thousands on a daily basis. You get more and more people coming constantly. I'm saying from all countries. It could be any country. I'm just using this story for an example. What do you think should be done? How would you, I'm asking you now, you ask your damn self, if you're a gun owner, how would you protect your home if you had, let's say you and your home, okay, and your family, let's say hopefully never, or your business, and you have a gun by law. I don't understand the laws of America, but let's say you have a gun. What do you think you should be entitled to do, and what is it about this gun ownership, and you want to stand up for your rights? What do you think? Should you be able to protect yourself? You may say, well, yeah, but not lethal shots to the head. All right, fair enough. Let's take the word lethal out. Even a shot to the leg, that could kill somebody. You don't know for certain, okay? Sometimes some people have been punched in the face and they've died. So let's say, okay, as a fucking mature human being, adult, with a weapon in your hand, it's not a toy, a gun, Do you think you should be allowed? Do you think that's the right thing, or do you support yourself? Do you support that, the idea of, yeah, well, I should be allowed to shoot the motherfucker trying to force his way into my home, raising a lot of noise? The guy he's trying to come in, and he's gonna come in whether it's your home or not. He's gonna come in to over your backyard, and you look outside, and the equivalent, let's say, this is 10,000 people to the country. So let's just say you've got 10 people to 100 people now trying to climb over you, come into your house, or break into your grandmother's house, huh? This and that, you know. They want to get the benefits. They want to basically take some of your food. They're going to take some of your whatever it is. Who knows? They may even try to attack your family, rape them. This is hypothetical, but they're coming in. We're not saying they're all criminals, they want to steal, they want to be violent. We're not saying that. I'm saying you've got people there, strangers, forcing their way in, and there's a reason they want to come in, because they want a better life, which is on your side of the fence, which you can provide, or it's there for the taking, easy pickings. Do you think a weapon should be drawn? Maybe your fists, maybe a gun, a round should be fired into the fucking target, huh? Or would you just allow them in? If you say you're going to just allow them in, is it the same for everything? So does all of your political correctness finally shut down too? All this talk about offensive language, discrimination, someone inappropriately this or that touched me on the shoulder, it's rape. All this fucking stuff you moan about on a daily basis, and yet this, I'm not supporting lethal shots to the head, spraying people dead off the fucking wall, but I'm talking about here. I just don't know how people's minds tick. Certain things are okay and certain things are not okay to you. I'm just asking you to ask yourself, what is fucking right and what's not fucking right? Well, things have got to be done in an orderly fashion, you know. How about things going to be fucking done in an orderly fashion? What fucking orderly fashion is there? You got 10,000 people forcefully jumping over the wall, trying to come in. I'm not saying attack them. I'm not saying judge them for what they are. But what the fuck do you think should be done? You're going to stop moaning there? The soldiers are there. Should the soldiers not even be there then? Or not armed, or what? What do you think? What do you think? I'm asking, what do you think? What does the person next to you now, what does he think as well? Fucking hell. But you still want to stand up for your gun rights. Was it to look cool, or, stand there like Terminator, give you the shades if you like? What is it about? And then no rounds are fired? Oh, it was a bit excessive. Oh, he used excessive language. Oh. Is that what it is? Anyway, that's all I'm saying, right? Let me know what you think, okay? Good luck. I would say be safe, protect your home, protect yourself, protect your personal space, but are you for that or against that? Are you for, yeah, but there's got to be a right way of doing things. You got 10,000 people climbing over. Your fucking brain still. Work it out, man. I'm not saying attack. There should be no violence on either side. People have got to respect people. What do you think should be done is what I'm talking about. Done in any of these kind of situations. I'm not talking about what I think's wrong or right. I'm just saying, what do you think should be done, rather than bickering about stupid crap amongst yourselves, leaving the door open for a bunch of crooks to come in. That's what I'm saying. And what do you, or run into another country to get a better life, when you've actually got a roof over your head and you don't know there's people like me here facing fucking starvation, basically. Well, I mean, if I wasn't in this situation, if you've actually got a bed to sleep on, you've got food every day, you've got clothes, some of these people have got a small home. They've got a light bulb in the room, they've got a washing machine. I'm not saying you're not entitled to be going for better in life. You can get better if you want, legally and justly, and work your ass off, and do things the right way. But forcing yourself into a country and trying to cause trouble is the wrong thing. But also these other countries who are trying to moan about it, yet they're not doing. They don't want any kind of protection for the country. I don't know. What do you want, people on either side? What the fuck do you want? If you want peace and happiness, stop for a minute and think what that fucking is. If you want safety, think about how you need to protect your fucking self, your life, and your peace. End of. I've said my bit, okay? Start working things out rather than bickering and moaning about things and who's right or wrong. Jesus, I see people running around like maniacs. Soldiers holding guns, they're not allowed to shoot, or they want to shoot. And then you've got all these thousands of people come in, and some of them are coming legit. Some of the people are coming where they just want better. They don't even know what they've already got. I'm not in their situation, but the reason I have the power to talk about this is because I do have worse, I believe, than some of these people actually have. Some of these immigrants that are coming in, I have worse a situation. My situation. You don't fucking know my situation. I have worse. Not than all of them. Not than all of them. A lot of them are coming from violent situations and violent stuff. But I am coming from a place where I'm in a situation where I literally am on the edge of having nothing on a daily basis. So this is by luck you're actually seeing any videos you ever see from me. It's by luck that I can shave every day. You do not know what I have to face. So what I'm going to say now is, okay, the hat and the shades is just for fun, alright, for the video, because I like to have fun and I love life. I don't moan about things, I just use what I have and just be creative. I love life. I follow nature. It's just so pathetic. Look at this. Hold on. Wow. I'm looking at a photo here, a video paused on my screen with, this, the horizon, the sea and the horizon, and the beach and the sky and the water, and it's so beautiful. And then below that you've got this wall in the middle of the beach, and you've got all these people going to climb over, soldiers or whatever, guards on one side of the fence. It's like, I don't know, that kind of thing, this kind of image I've got on my screen here is like, what the fuck is wrong with humanity, And then elsewhere you've got other silly news stories about fucking movie stars who are in prison for indecently groping a woman's cute ass or something, and half the world on drugs, and half the world parading down the road and protesting about something else, and people bickering in the workplace. Can't people just get respectful? Respect humanity, love, passion, compassion towards one another. The people you love, your family, whoever, your partner, your family, your kids, animals. We've got to be respectful and loving towards nature and stop being a stupid shitbag trying to look for hassle. Look for answers, man. Look for answers. Communicate. Have a question. Have an open mind. Try and work things out. And, don't be offended just by... Don't keep comparing yourself to others. You probably won't even get that, what I'm saying there. Look for absolute truth in yourself. There's people that have less than me. What the fuck am I raising all hell about? That's the question you need to work out. What do you think should be done about this? Okay, this kind of topic. Thanks for watching, alright? 10,000 people is a lot of people anyway. That's one thing I will say. Climbing over your backyard.